Alright, it's Henry again, and this is part 2 of my review of the Master Grade Wing Gundam Verka. As you can see, since part 1 I have painted the kit and applied all the decals, and I think it actually turned out pretty nice. Now, I don't usually go over this in my reviews. I usually just leave it for the Flickr photo gallery, but I just want to show off that I really took care in doing things properly on this kit, filling in all the seam lines, like the seam lines that were going along the edge of the wing. I filled those in. There was a small seam line on the forearms. I filled in that seam line. Seam line that went across the top of the head, that's gone. I think that was about it for the body. There weren't too many on it. There was a seam line that was going all the way across the length of the Buster rifle. I got rid of that. Even on these things, there was a seam line that was going across there. I got rid of that seam line, if it'll focus. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, tried my best to fill in all the seam lines. Also did a lot of masking on this kit. And a lot of stuff that, you know, most people wouldn't have even bothered doing, like the little gray part right there in the wing, the little vents inside the edge of the wing. Did those in gray. The undersides of the skirt armor, I think, also turned out really, really nice. If you can see that, did the undersides of the skirt armor all in gray. And I think it turned out looking really, really good. Even some stuff that's barely even visible, like the undersides of these things. If you just barely see it in there, focus. The undersides of this thing is gray, even though it doesn't even hardly show up. And down on their collar, I did that gray. Let's see, I was about to show you something back here. What was it? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, this little midsection of the torso, when he bends forward, did that little section in gray. Also, up inside the shoulder armors, if I can get it to an angle where you can see it, up inside shoulder armor, I did all of that in gray as well. And then I used the water slide decals, because the clear stickers, I just don't really care for Bandai's clear stickers, at least the older ones. The newer ones aren't quite as bad, but the old ones are thicker and you can really see the edges, and they just don't look very good at all. And I just want to take a quick minute to talk about the decals on this kit really quick. The kit, being a Master Grade, obviously comes with a sheet of clear stickers and then a sheet of dry transfer decals, which in most cases for a Master Grade is sometimes alright, especially in the newer ones where they use the new thinner clear stickers, like on the recent EW Master Grades, for example. I actually usually don't have a problem. Plus, with newer Master Grades, I usually don't have a water slide decal set available anyway, but on this kit, and really most Verka Master Grades, you're going to want to try to get the water slide decal set. And here it is. I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Josh over at J Hazer. He has a YouTube channel. I'll post a link below. He was able to get me these decals, and normally I would have just gone out and found them on my own, but there's a kind of a nasty rumor going around that Bandai is about to stop making water slide decals completely because they haven't released any new ones in over a year, and the old ones aren't being restocked anymore, so they might be done for. So anytime you see some of these decals on an online shop and you want them, go ahead and buy them now, because they may not be there tomorrow. Anyway, Josh hooked me up with these, so I know I've told you this before, but thank you so much. You single-handedly made finishing this project possible for me. But a lot of people I know are going to say, oh, why didn't you go to Samuel Decal? Well, I did. That's actually where I went first. But the problem with Samuel Decal's decal set for Wing Gundam Verka is that not only are all of the decals not there, as you can see compared to the Bandai water slides, Samuel's clearly doesn't have all of them there. It's maybe a little bit over half. But even then, stylistically, the decals are a little bit different. The fonts are different. The lettering just isn't quite as sharp on the smaller caution markings. So that really made me want to track down and find these official Bandai water slides. And I'm really glad I did, because I think they're going to make the kit look a lot better than using Samuel's or using the clear stickers that came with the model kit. And one quick thing about this, if you'll notice, a little extra Bandai threw in on the water slide decal set is the addition of some kind of fake battle damage. I'm not going to be using it on mine, but it's nice to have the option if you really want it. So now that that's out of the way, let's take a quick look at the weapons and accessories. Start off with the shield that I just dropped. It's actually a pretty nice looking shield. It's made in several different parts. You got large white part, red part, and then smaller white parts and red parts that go on there. So it's got several parts to it. The bottom of the shield usually just has one gray part right here and then the little mounting part, but I took the time to mask and paint the whole underside of the shield gray, and I actually think it turned out looking really, really nice. So anyway, you've got this little hook-shaped thing right here, and it doesn't peg into the arm like most Gundam shields do. What you'll do is you'll move the wing out of the way for one, and then this little hook will come around and hook into that little tab on the forearm, and then that's how it goes on. Move these little fins, and it just stays on like that. And it, even though it doesn't really peg in, it doesn't really fall off at all. It is kind of cumbersome to get it to pose because, as you can see, it's touching the shoulder armor up here. But there really aren't any problems with it falling off. The only real problem is going to be, you know, posing it with the shoulder armor in the way like that. Also, you get a beam saber. Just one, because Wing Gundam only has one beam saber. And you get two clear green blades that look exactly like this. So you'll have one blade left over, and they're the slightly curved kind that come with you know, various different master grades. Gundam 1 Year War version, for example. But honestly, I'm not really a fan of this dark green color. And then a little light bulb went off over my head, and I said, wait a minute, Master Grade Wing Gundam TV version has those bright green beam sabers that I really like. And, like this guy, only has one beam saber but two blades. So I just took the extra blade from Wing Gundam TV version and gave it to Wing Gundam Verka. So now I got the nice bright green beam saber I like. And being a beam saber, he's really not going to have any trouble holding it all, because, well, it's a beam saber, so no problems there. And for storage, take that out, and it's actually stored inside the shield. Let's take this off of the arm real quick. And let's see, this down in here, there's like a little circular thing that'll fit inside the end of the beam saber. Put that down in there, and then it just slides in like so, and that's where the beam saber is stored. And the next accessory is the infamous Buster Rifle. It's a very, very long Buster Rifle, although it does look quite nice, I think. Much taller than the mobile suit itself. And this is probably the main complaint people always have with this kit, is basically that it can't hold it. And yes, I'm not going to lie, the hand does have problems holding the Buster Rifle. A lot of people claim that there's like weight issues in the shoulder and the elbow, although I haven't really seen that. I mean, even before I painted my kit, I didn't experience any weight issues in the shoulder or elbows. However, I will admit there is a problem with him holding the Buster Rifle in his hand. It's not so much the hand's fault, it's just the way that the grip is shaped. It's just almost like it just won't grab onto it and hold onto it very well. Master Grade Gundam Ground Type has the exact same problem, I noticed. Although its weapons aren't nearly this big. However, I was able to fix this problem really quickly and easily and cheaply. All you need is a small drill bit. I don't even know if that's, my camera's going to zoom in on that, but small drill bit and a paper clip. What I did was I drilled a small hole in the palm of Wing Gundam's hand, drilled a corresponding hole into the Buster Rifle, and clipped off a small piece of that paper clip and glued it into the Buster Rifle handle. So now you have a peg that'll fit into a hole on the hand. And I find that this quick, easy fix completely solves the issue of the hand not holding onto the Buster Rifle. You just line that peg up into the hole, close the fingers around the grip, and there we go. Let me back up here. No more issues holding the Buster Rifle at any angle you could possibly want to hold it at. He's going to hold it, no problem at all. Even, no problems with the elbow, no problems with the shoulder. Even shake it, he ain't letting go of it at all. Now, this little fix with the paper clip only took like 5 minutes, and seeing as how I already had the small drill bit and the paper clip, it didn't cost me a cent. And it was really, really easy. So that's my solution to the Buster Rifle problem for Wing Gundam Verka. And I'll probably end up doing something very, very similar to my Wing Zero Custom whenever I get around to building it. And the last accessory that Wing Gundam Verka comes with are these 2 extra ammo packs. And they're basically just little white carriers that hold 3 extra energy cartridges for the Buster Rifle. And you can take these, and they have a peg, and they simply mount onto the forearm like so. Although you'll find that you'll have a little bit of trouble putting this one on this forearm if you intend to put the shield. So you can't have both of them on the forearm at the same time. So it'll be one or the other. And one last weapon Wing Gundam has got that I want to go over are these 2 machine cannons on the shoulders. And they're actually kind of hard to get open, to be honest. You gotta push this little part forward and they'll kind of pop open like that. But due to these fins on the side of Wing Gundam's head, it's really hard to get them open. So, I mean, you look down in there, you can see a little machine gun, but honestly, I'm not really going to be using these all that often, but they are there if you want the option. Another addition that the EW version of Wing Gundam has over the Verka is the addition of 2 action-based connectors. And right when that kit was first announced, that was the thing that I considered the most pointless thing ever. Because some people tend to forget that action bases already come with connectors. You don't have to rely on the ones that come with newer master grades. So, this kit fits perfectly fine on an action base without the need for a special connector. And it's secure, you can shake it, he's not going anywhere, it's very tight on the action base, not going to go anywhere. So, I think the action base issue is really a non-issue, because it works just fine, in my opinion. And here's a quick look at Wing Gundam's inner frame. This is unpainted, by the way. And as you can see, it's got almost a full inner frame. It was made in 2004, so it's not going to have a 100% inner frame like today's master grades. But it's almost all there. You don't really have an inner joint for the shoulder, and the forearms don't have an inner frame. Plus, there's no inner frame for the head. But for 2004 quality, this was actually pretty darn nice. And even by today's quality, it's actually halfway decent, minus the arms and head not having an inner frame. And what inner frame we do get is actually very, very nicely detailed. Lots of mechanical detail all over this inner frame, and just looks really good. And looking at the way it's designed, you can tell that it's actually very similar to the recent EW master grades, as far as the leg design and the foot design and the torso design as well. So although it's a completely different inner frame, there are some similarities there. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at Wing Gundam's transformation. Now the first step of the transformation, well I guess it doesn't have to be the first step, but it's going to be the first step for me, is we're going to have to transform these legs. Now the knees bend in kind of a funny way. You're going to bend them like so. I'm going to try and do this without scratching the paint. Until they end up looking kind of like that, and the knee armor will be right here. And then we'll bend the feet down, ankle armor down, until the leg looks like that. And we're going to do that with both legs. The next step is we're going to take this backpack, and it kind of pops out, and the whole thing will go down, and there's a little slot on the back skirt there. It'll just plug right into there. And then if you want, you can pull the wings out so those are spread out a little bit further until it looks like this. Next, we're going to take these shoulder armors and pull them out. They'll slide out like so. And you want to rotate the arm 90 degrees so this little claw is facing forward. Take the shoulder down, and we're going to take these ammo packs, and those will just connect right onto the forearm like so until you get something that looks like that. And the last thing you're going to do for the transformation is connect the Buster rifle to the bottom of the shield like so, and then you'll simply take this. There's a little peg that slots in on the backpack right there, and then this blue part will cover up the face, and there's like a little latch that connects right up under Wing Gundam's collar, and you'll just connect that in there. And once you get everything transformed, you will have a Wing Gundam Verka in bird mode, and it actually looks pretty nice in my opinion. Now, as far as the mobile suit mode goes, I kind of like the TV version better than the Verka. However, the Verka, I think, definitely has the TV version beat in bird mode. This just looks really, really nice. The larger wings are a nice addition. You've got the longer Buster rifle in the end. You've got the ammo packs down here on the bottom. So you can see both of those down there. Even the face is covered up by this blue part on the Buster rifle. And overall, the effect is just a really, really nice looking bird mode. Still have the Gundam feet sticking out of the back, but I do really like it. And even in bird mode, the Wing Gundam fits perfectly well on an action base with no weight issues at all. So even more of a reason that the action base connectors that came with the EW version are completely and utterly pointless. Now to end with a couple of quick comparisons, I've got the Wing Gundam TV version and the Wing Gundam Verka side by side. As you can see, very, very similar, but at the same time, very, very different. And that might not make much sense, but it's pretty much the same mobile suit, just by two different designers, Okawara and Katoki. So there you go. And last, I wanted to do a shot of the 4 already released Verka Gundam Wing Gundams all together, just to get a look at them all in one group shot. And hopefully this time next month I'll be adding heavy arms to my collection. Although it suddenly occurs to me that maybe I ought to think about getting another Master Grade Death Scythe and actually paint them up in the proper Katoki colors. Alright, so that about does it for my review of the Master Grade Wing Gundam Verka. And this is one of those kits that I think gets a lot of unnecessary criticism. I've heard people say that this is like the worst kit Bandai's ever made, and that's just plain untrue. Anybody that thinks that has obviously never built a Gundam model kit from the 80s or 90s. But most of the complaints center around the Buster rifle. People will say that it can't hold its weapon, and to be honest, unmodified, it does have a problem holding the Buster rifle. Like I said, I didn't experience any weight issues with the shoulders or the elbows even before painting it. So that may just be specific to that one person's model kit that had weight issues with the arm, but I didn't experience that on mine. Other complaints people have about this kit are the decals. I will say that the decals are troublesome. If you can find the water slides, by all means try your best to get them, because the clear stickers aren't going to look all that good because you'll be able to see the edges. And God help anyone that tries to put the dry transfers on these wings right here, because I had a hard enough time just using the water slides on those things. And I still didn't get them quite right. But overall, I think this is actually a pretty good kit. Another complaint people have about this kit is the lack of an inner frame. And whenever I hear that, I'm like, what are you talking about, lack of an inner frame? The only parts of the inner frame it lacks are the shoulder armor and the head and the forearm. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, even if they made a 2.0 of this, that's pretty much all they could add. The rest of the kit, aside from having, you know, EW hands, would be more or less the same, in my opinion. I can't imagine too much they would improve upon this. That's why they didn't make a new one when they released Master Grade Wing Gundam EW. And the inner frame that this guy does have, when you stand it side by side, which, come to think of it, I should have done in this review, is very, very similar to the EW Master Grades, like Sandrock and Deathseye, for example. So, I don't know, I just think it's one of those cases of people taking small complaints and blowing them out of proportion. But, I mean, you gotta remember this kit was made in 2004, and honestly, I shouldn't have even said that, because they're like, oh, yeah, it was good in 2004, but it's not good nowadays. And even then, I don't think that's true. I still think it's an excellent kit. I mean, I guess it's just, I see model kits in a different way. I look for different things in model kits. You know, I'm not really that big on posability. Even though this is a perfectly posable kit, it's got good posability, even though you're going to have to add some sort of peg with the Buster Rifle. Other than that, the posability is great. But to me, if a model kit looks good, that's what's important. That's what I go for when building a model kit. But overall, I think this is a good kit. It's certainly got a decent price tag. It's got lots of colors. The color separation is actually really nice. All the masking I did was just, you know, that was just icing on the cake. Like the undersides of the skirt armor, the underside of the shield, this little tiny gray part right here, little vents in the wings, that was just, you know, like I said, icing on the cake. Without that, the kit would still look pretty darn good. So I think color separation wise it's really nice. It's got a lot of gimmicks and weapons. It's got the Buster Rifle, the shield, the beam saber fits in the shield, the extra ammo packs, the machine cannons, all that nice stuff. And lots of decals for people that like decals. For people who don't like decals, that might not be such a good thing. So in summary, is this a good kit? Yes, it is. Does it have a couple problems? Yes, it does. Does it need a 2.0 to fix those problems? I don't think so. I think that with a little bit of TLC, you can have a very nice model kit to add to your collection by getting either the Verka or the EW, either one. The differences between the two, in my opinion, are pretty much negligible. So, I think that about does it for me defending this kit. And with that, I will see you guys next time.